Hello and welcome to another edition of Expandly, the journey so far. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm excited to bring you this episode. This episode is really around the realization that after our acquisition of Expandly, we are now an software company, which was a slight issue for me, quite honestly, because we've never been a service business. We've always been a service business, and now we're a software as a service business. So this episode is all about that. Hello and welcome. My name is Andy Hooper. I'm the CEO at GE Capital, Global E-commerce Experts and Expandly. And we're here to globally expand e-commerce brands. Now, if you've joined the last few episodes, you probably would have got a gist of what's going on. Well, this is episode, I've got to look down to my notes just to make sure I'm fully aligned with these pieces. We're on episode 5. The first episode was all about the acquisition of Expandly. So we acquired Expandly in last year in July 2023, and we talked through in that episode about how we acquired it, how we came to acquire it, why we acquired it, what our thought process was, how we could utilize it, and so on. So from there, that was the first episode. If you've not seen that, go back and have a look at that. The second episode was talking about what Expandly does, because what it currently does is a massively, hugely useful tool that so many e-commerce entrepreneurs could use currently. And there's 3 things it basically solves right now: inventory management, listing management, and accounting, all pulled into one central place. So if you're an e-commerce business that you're selling omni-channel and you need to manage your listings, optimize your listings, manage your inventory, and centrally manage all of those things, Expandly 1.0, as we're calling it, is the tool for you today. But we're talking about 1.0, which must mean there must be a 2.0, which I'll come on to. Third episode was talking about our oats process, the process we go through here once we've acquired a business, and about what that journey looks like. The oats process is relatively straightforward. We observe the business, see what's going on. We then assess the effectiveness of it. We then track it through KPIs, and then we decide whether we need to shift at any point on certain areas to make it better or to steal what they're doing to bring into our own business. So we did all of those things. That was episode number 3. Last episode number 4 was talking about the vision for Expandly. We decided that we'd gone through the oats process and we're like, oh, wow, we can do so much with this, which is where the last episode, which was 2 weeks ago, we looked at what we were doing, how we were doing it, and how we as a business could utilize Expandly in the new world going forwards. Our business model is a service-based business. We help typically American e-commerce sellers expand into Europe. We solve everything they need in one place. So that's their business compliance, tax to you and I. We solve their product compliance, making sure their products are fit with the regulations in that region. We ship their products. We solve all of their logistics through a 3PL network, both in the UK and in Europe. And then what we do is with returns as well. We've then got Expandly, which is the listing management, which helps sell omni-channel. So when you look at what we do, we've got compliance, logistics, and online distribution, a complete end-to-end solution that people need when they're expanding their business. So what we talked about in the last episode was how we were going to adapt Expandly to 2.0, thinking about those things and how we did that. Which leads on to today's episode, because I just talked about we are a service-based business. We have a VAT business that helps you do your VAT, value-added tax, for the different European countries. It's a service. We talk to you about what you've sold, we look at what you've brought in, and we analyze that and tell you how much VAT you need to pay to certain governments. We do your product compliance. We look through the regulations. We stroll through, identify what regulations you come under, identify those pieces and really solve that. We've then got, we then ship your products. We do your customs. Everything is very transactional in the way in which we operate. So once we'd acquired this, we'd gone through the oats process, we worked on what we needed to do. I had this sudden realization that, shit, we're now a software business. We are a service-based business leading into a software as a service. Now, why was that important? Well, let's come right back to the beginning and think about what our clients want. Our clients want enhanced, and I'm going to have to look at my notes, so I do apologize. I haven't got a screen. I'm freewheeling most of this. One, they want enhanced features. They want to be able to have a click of a button, something all in one place. They want to be able to launch quickly, right? They want to have easy integration to different platforms, different channels, and different marketplaces. They want us to be cost effective and clear pricing, nice and simple, monthly fee. They want something that's not clunky. They want something that's useful and easy to use. They want to make sure that their personal data, if you want to register for VAT, you need to send us your social security numbers, your passports, utility bill, and the list goes on. So you want to make sure that's secure and it's compliant with the regulations to make sure we're not running off with that document and cloning you, which we're not, I should say. You want something that's scalable, that can grow with you, knowing that it's very simple and easy to use. And that's both in terms of numbers and your team to utilize that. And I think that leads into the last part. It needs to be simple. You need something that's simple to use so that any one of your team, as you scale and grow your business and you buy back your time or start to work more on the business, that you can delegate those roles to other people within the business, and that business continues to run and scale. And I think that's really, really important. So when we started looking at what those things needed, we then started thinking, well, it needs to be 24 hours. It obviously needs to be online. There needs to be clear SLAs. Many of these things we already do and achieve. But then obviously with the expandly part, we're like, okay, this is where we need to take our current services. This is what our customers want. This is what they need. And this is where we need to get them to. We did a huge amount of research. We've expanded over 2,000 sellers into Europe. So we're able to see all the data at these different parts. We're able to look at that. But bear in mind that we're a service business right now. We've got those in lots of different places. So we started to think about, okay, how do we streamline these things? How do we make these things easier? And when I started researching what other people did in these industry, I found two really exciting realizations. Many of you will know Shopify. Shopify is an online platform where you can put your own shop and create your own e-commerce website. Many of you will have your own Shopify sites, but what I hadn't realized is that Shopify was, before it was Shopify, started as a snowboarding e-commerce website. So what they had is they sold snowboards basically, and what happened is that what they were designing and building, they couldn't find anything that was suitable for their needs. They needed something that was simple, that was easy, click and drop, move things in and out, that was just simple and easy to use. It didn't require complex coding. It didn't require complex software engineers or developers in order to make something work. And that's where, based on the problem, a solution arose. And the second example I'm going to give you is Hootsuite. Hootsuite, which many of you will know as a social media platform that help you. You can go on there, you can design a post, you can distribute it into 4 or 5 different places, however many it looks like, and you can streamline all of your social media into one platform. It's a really, really nice platform. It works really, really well. But what I hadn't realized, that came out of a marketing business. So first of all, Hootsuite was a marketing business, and they needed a solution for their clients to manage all of their software in one place. We are in exactly the same place. We've got clients that need tax. We've got clients that need product compliance. We've got clients that need shipping, customs, warehousing, online distribution, listing management, listing optimization, inventory management, and accounting. And all of these things are things that all of our clients need to be able to make an expansion successful. We're here to globally expand brands and successfully expand them. Well, we can only successfully expand brands if this process is simple and easy. So we came to the realization that we're a software business. We came to the conclusion that we need to adapt what we're doing. So here's the things that I've learned during that process. Interestingly, there is a slight joke in house that I sometimes turn up as Software Andy. I like dressing in a suit, shirt, and tie. That's what I like dressing in. It's just what I feel comfortable in. I like coming to work in a shirt and tie, and it just makes me feel good, right? But actually, in the new modern world, sometimes I like to come as Software Andy. Software Andy likes to wear a pair of trainers. He likes to wear a pair of jeans, but he also likes to wear a shirt, a jacket, and a tie. It's a slight difference and slight subtle. Doesn't make me any less productive. It doesn't make me any less of a human being. It doesn't make me, and the list goes on. So the adaptation, and obviously the people that we attract into the business, now we're more software than we are. Well, not that we're more software, but that we're adapting the software business is changing some of the thought processes and the challenges that we have as a business, whether that's work from home, dress as you like, flexible hours, and the list goes on. So some of the things that we're looking to change now, what I should say is when we acquired the business, we acquired a great team that came with it. You met Tony, who came on recently. You'll meet Jack at some point as another key member of the team as the product manager. And what we're looking at is you've got a great team already. The team already did many of these things, but it's adapting our business into the software realm of things. So for example, how do you onboard and integrate a client? Well, typically at the moment, what we do is we work with the client close one-to-one in order to make that happen. We have Zoom calls or Teams calls. We have paperwork going backwards and forwards. Well, actually in the new world, this will all be done integrated within the software. It'll make it slicker for the customer. It'll make it slicker for our customer services team. It'll make it easier to integrate. And we come back to those 8 things that I talked about earlier. The quick launch and the easy integration is going to be really, really key for our clients. They won't need to speak to someone unless they want to. You know, if you want to understand how this works, that works, we're going to be available. We're always going to be available to do it. In fact, we welcome the opportunity to do that. But for many of our clients, what they want is they want certain things to be nice, slick, and easy. And then they want to have a conversation on the real nitty gritty piece. We can fast track some of that piece. So some of the things we're looking at, how do we adapt? Onboarding and integrations. How do we adapt our customer support team as a whole business to support the new way in which we work? There's a different set of KPIs and metrics that I hadn't quite fathomed. There's different metrics and different terminology and language that software businesses use that I'm slowly starting to adapt to. ARR, MRR, churn, all of these sort of things actually are really relevant to every business. But it's more around a slightly different concept to what a service-based business would typically do. And as we adapt from being a Shopify snowboarding platform into a platform like that, or Hootsuite, we're going to adapt that as we go. We need to tweak our sales and our lead gen. The place in which we're going to be looking to do our marketing is going to be slightly different. Some of the partnerships that we've got and some of the processes we've got, we need to tweak and adapt. We're still going to be the same epic company, but we're going to have software as a service that's going to enable us to be able to do it so much better. And the reason for doing some of these things is to talk to you as these go on about what's happening, the changes we're making, and how we see that. The last thing is it's enabled us to look at some of our values. How do we simplify what we're doing as a business? We've talked about for a long time about simplifying the process of goods in, goods out, simplifying the process of flow of onboarding, or simplifying all these different pieces. Well, one of the things we've looked at is how do we simplify the values of the business? We've got 7 headings of values within the business. Well, interestingly, I did a great, I thought it was great, a great piece of management training earlier today. And I put the values down and scrubbed them out and asked them to write down the values of the business. And actually, we did an okay job at that. But actually, we need people to know what our values are like this. Actually, how do we streamline that? How do we make that more simple? And that's one of the things that we've that this process has enabled me to think differently about what we're doing. It's given me the opportunity to think, okay, this is where we are, this is where we want to get to. Let's see what else is available out there that we're not maximizing the opportunity of. So I started looking at the Team Sky marginal gains. What does that look like? How could we use that? What are the little 1% within our business that we can really support our customers with? Okay, so here's what I've learned over the past couple of weeks. The realization from going from a service business to a software as a service. First thing is all of those 8 things I talked about earlier, the enhanced features, the quick launch, easy integration, cost effective, modern UI, security compliance, scalable and simplicity. All of those things, I came to the realization that it's going to make our service better. Anything that we can do to make our service better for our clients, we should be doing number one. So I came to the realization that actually our service business is now going to be moving into a software as a service business. And that's a really, really key piece. We're still going to be doing the services behind it in the same way. It's just going to be much slicker and smoother for those people that we're working with. So here's the things I've learned. One, that educating myself on how to run a software business has been really, really key in making some of those subtle changes. If you're not educating yourself on some of those things, you need to be. How do I educate, train, develop CPD with the team and work out what that looks like? And that was part of the management training today. I've had to ask questions in a different way. How do I ask questions for a software business, not knowing the software, not understanding the coding? When I've built on this business, I've understood every single part of the business because I've done every single thing. Whereas from a software point of view, I've never built a piece of software in my life. So actually, I'm relying on the software development team to enable that, for me to work with them to bring that to life. So it's helped me to ask different questions. And off the back of that, I've had to think differently. I've had to challenge my own perceptions on things of, is it okay to dress in trainers, tracksuit and a t-shirt if you're a software person? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But I'm challenging myself to think differently on some of these things. One of the key things I worked out very sharply was that the costs, what they say they are never quite what the costs are. Now, that's the same in any business. But when you're dealing with terabytes of data and all these different things, what happens is that you're storing this data somewhere. And because you're storing this data somewhere, when you're deciding that you've got expanding 1.0 over here and 2.0 over here, you need 2 of them, which was given, bear in mind, we're talking a difference of £10,000. It's a big difference to start changing around. But, you know, that's one of those learning points that's really valuable to do. And the last one is being open-minded to that change. How am I coaching and educating myself to enable those things to happen? That's it from me. You'll be pleased to know. So today we've talked about the fact that we've gone from this realization that we're a service business, we're slowly adapting into a SaaS business, software as a service. How do we adapt our thinking, our methodology, and our systems and our process for our clients to ultimately make the process and everything much, much better? If you're keen to be part of the beta program of Expandly 2.0, where you can solve and expand your business at the click of a button, where everything is done all in one place, then you need to make sure you're in the beta. Only the people in the beta will be only the people on the waiting list that you can see the clicker going on the bottom will be able to get onto the beta program. The beta program is going to be, you're going to get beneficial pricing. You're going to get be first to expand. You're going to be the first people that are going to actually see the software and enable it to happen. You need to be on the waiting list in order to do that. Only people on the waiting list will get early access to what we're offering, and early access comes with early access pricing and all the other benefits that go with it. Yes, you know, as we build that software, the reason it's a beta is to be able to get it out there and make sure it's working. Obviously, we've already got a working piece of software. So there's the benefit. The software, all we're doing is adding features to basically make your lives so much easier. Everything I hear about expanding businesses is, oh, well, it was too complicated. I didn't know this and I didn't know that. It's all going to be in one place. This will not get any easier. This will be the place that makes your life significantly easier as an e-commerce business that wants to expand. That's it from me. Thank you very much for joining me. Next week, I'll be quite honest with you, I can't remember what next week is. But next week will be an epic. Next week is about how we found, developed, and integrated a software team. So for people that have done an acquisition or people that want to set up a software business, we're going to be talking about how we found the software team, how we built that out, how we put a plan in place, and how we came to start integrating that and start developing the software. So that's going to be a really, really interesting piece. I cannot wait to get that through with you. My name's Andy Hooper. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me. Please do. You've got any questions, feel free to reach out and ask those. Join the waiting list for Expandly. Only those on the beta program on the waiting list will get early access. Early access comes to those on the waiting list, and the waiting list is below. Please go and sign up. That was it from me. My name was Andy, and I'll see you on the next episode of Expandly, the story so far.